Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Soul Trades. Today is Wednesday, June 10, 2026. This is trade recap of the day and let's get straight to it. So today was a bit of a weird day in the market because yesterday's daily candle closed as a dozy candle. So we went higher, took previous day high and then expanded all the way down here to these gaps down here, volume imbalances down here, but closed all the way back in here. So it was a bit of a weird day to figure out where market wants to go for your like daily buys and stuff like that. Because we don't know if price wants to go higher after this dozy candle or if this is a candle to closer after taking previous day high and we want to go towards this yesterday's low and all of this sell side, whatever, right? So from the candlestick chart alone, it is hard for me to figure out what market wants to do. That's why I always get my bias from TPO chart. And this is the TPO chart right here, right? Let me zoom in for a little bit. And what we can see on TPO chart, I want you to focus on these white lines, okay? This white line, this white line, this white line, this white line, all of those white lines. Those white lines are point of control on TPO chart. Do not confuse that with volume profile. Volume profile is different. Volume profile measures volume transacted at each tick level or whatever. But this just measures time, okay? Time price opportunity. And as you can see, this white line is shifting lower and lower. So we were here at 7614, then we went a little lower at 602, and we stayed inside this fair value, even though we had a massive expansion day on this day, right? And then point of control shifted lower at 7545. Again, the point of control was at 7559, a little higher, but then again, point of control shifted lower. So as you can see, the fair value of the market is continuously going lower and lower and lower. What does that tell you? That tells me at least that we are in a bearish sentiment, at least until now, right? And a lot of people might get confused with, okay, this is point of control here at 7411, but this point of control is higher at 7433. So that would mean now we should be in a bullish sentiment. No. I want you all to think in terms of fair value. This point of control is within the fair value of previous day, right? So that means the value has not shifted higher at all. The fair value is still, the sentiment is still lower. If this point of control was all the way up here, then we could have targeted this point of control, because for now that is a naked point of control that has not been tested yet. But we'll come back to that sometime later, right? So I am still in a bearish sentiment because the market is still in a bearish sentiment, right? So now if I want to trade lower, take shorts, I need to find my key levels. What are my key levels? This value area high. You see the difference in color. These darker ones above those are outside fair value, and these brighter ones means it is inside fair value. So that's one of my key levels, 7457. If I was taking longs, I could have targeted that. Another of my key level is this 7350. That's value area low, right? My point of control is right here at 7435. But even more than that, I have two low volume nodes in previous session. In this expansion, the massive expansion, it's not really an expansive, it's a dozy candle, to be honest, just at long wicks, right? We have two low volume nodes, one at this level at 7407, and the other at 7420-ish area. So my idea for today, it's always going to be the same, okay? You can go back and look at my other trade recaps. It's going to be the same thing. I'm going to talk about the same thing again and again and again. Either I want rejection at these low volume nodes. Usually I prefer single prints, but low volume nodes is fine. And then come down lower or break above, hold as a support and target this point of control or value area high or whatever, right? Or even previous high, whatever. If we were long bias, right? If the market wanted to go long, I had to wait to see how market reacts in these levels. If it's gonna disrespect it, then I want support here to target higher. If it's gonna respect it, then I want delta flip or whatever, get my confirmation to trade lower, right? And unfortunately today trade of it was down, so I could not trade my A+ setup. Let me bring my good stuff up. So these are all the levels that I have marked. Yesterday, we went down to this huge low volume node in this massive expansion. This low volume node is drawn from all the way bottom here at start of April to basically yesterday, I think, or some other this high, something like that. But since market has reached all the way down to this low volume node right here, I wanted a bullish reaction out of it, and that's what this week was. Okay, that's what this week was. If I remove all of that, and you see this wick that came out of this low volume node yesterday. But that does not mean we're in a bullish sentiment. Okay, again, let me be very, very clear. On TPO chart 2, I explained we are not in a bullish sentiment just yet. So since we're still bearish, right, I preferably would want to take shorts, right? But since trader weight was down, I could not take my A plus setup. This is my A plus setup, by the way, right? First, so I took, give me a second. I took 2 trades in paper trade, and then I took final trade in my actual account. But let's go through the trade idea again, right? As always, you mark your key levels. What are your key levels? Overnight volume profile, previous day volume profile, and overall volume profile, the one that I showed, right? And then mark your value area high, value area low, all of that good stuff, a little bit of low volume nodes, all of that good stuff, right? So since we're in a bearish sentiment, what am I looking for? Again, it's always going to be the same thing. Again, my trade idea, it's always going to be the same thing. I want either market to push higher, reject at point of control or fair value area high of yesterday's session or overnight session and then come back lower, or I want market to push below this value area low, this black line of overnight session, retraces, reject it, and then go back lower. One of the other two, and target this value area low, previous to low, all of that good stuff. Since TPO gave us bearish bias, again, I want my idea to be push up, rejection, or push down, acceptance, and retracement, and then go lower, right? So if I can show you in this, is this the thing that does that? Okay, path. So push up, right? And then come back lower. That's one idea. Or I want to push lower compared to this black line, value yellow, right? Acceptance, retracement here, and then push lower. Something like that. That's the idea, all right? That would be my trade idea. So what does market do? Let's see. What does market do? All right. Let's see. What does market do? Let's go to New York Open. Where is New York Open? This is New York Open right here. So New York Opens, first of all, we come back lower, right? Where do we go till? Okay, this is really, really good stuff. Okay, I want you all to pay attention to it. Again, remember my 2 conditions. Either I want to sort up here or I want to sort down there. Okay, I don't want to sort here in between, in the middle. So once market opens at 9:30, we come back lower, first of all. To where? To low volume node of overnight session, and we push higher from there. You see this massive green candle on 1 minute time frame. We push higher and higher and higher up to this. What is that? That's gotta be something. Value area high of the overnight session, right? And then we retrace a little bit, and this was my first long idea. And the reason this idea works is because again I want to sort up here. Even if I have various bias, I can still take longs to where? To my point of location. Okay, you don't always have to take shorts. But again, this is my A plus setup. I'll come back to it, right? This is my long idea. Why? Because market told me that we want to accept higher value compared to where we opened, and we want to get till this previous day low volume node, which would be the low volume node in TPO chart 2. So I can take a trade from somewhere here to all the way down here, and I'll exit here. Okay, that's the idea, right? So let's get to my good stuff. Where is it? Where is my footprint chart? Okay. First of all, I got to figure out where this trade was taken when. So exactly at 10 a.m. Okay, exactly at 10 a.m. my first long idea comes. So let's go. Okay, right here, we're exactly there. So this is the footprint chart at that level. Again, you see this yellow lines. First of all, let me get to these yellow lines. What are those yellow boxes, right? In overnight session, as you can see, right? If I zoom out a little bit, overnight session, this is where buyers were trapped, and this is where buyers were trapped, right? These two are the location where buyers were trapped in the overnight session or Asia session, whatever you want to call it, right? And Asia and London session. So if the buyers were to be trapped again, and if sellers initiation were to come again, where would be the most likely location? Same place, right? Obviously, that's because that's where initially buyers were trapped and seller aggression came in. That's where initially buyers were trapped and seller aggression came in. And if you don't believe me, I can take you there. Okay, there you go. God damn, takes forever. You see all these blue buyers right here, and then delta flip from 138 to negative 44. This is overnight session. So that's where, and then market started going lower, right? So that's where initial buyers were trapped up here. And then if I go a little higher in this zone right here, again, that's where initial buyers were trapped, right? And I want you to pay attention to price level. Okay, these buyers were trapped at around 7,400 right here, and then again here also delta flip from 25 to negative 125, and then market started coming lower, right? And then the second buyers, the second yellow box that I marked, were trapped at around 90s, right? So if sellers were present up top, right, in the overnight session, and market came way lower like that, right? And if price were to retrace into the same area, obviously, there is a chance that those same sellers are gonna protect that area, right? Those same sellers are gonna what am I trying to say? Those same sellers are gonna be active again. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So that's why I marked these levels, right? So at 10 a.m., as I said, that's when my entry happened, right? Before that, let me explain something so that it's easier why I entered there. Okay, first of all, my initial model, which is the IVV model, 5-year Valentini model, whatever, right? Mark the first 15-minute highs and lows, let market develop value, let it retrace to some key level, and then target higher, right? This higher, whatever, right? That's one opening range breakout setup, right? So what did I do, right? Market opens, find support at overnight low volume node, and we expand higher, make the first IVV low, IVVI first 15-minute range, market retraces down to it, right? And then expand higher. Why didn't I take the first one and second one? I don't even know. I think I missed that one. But why entry exactly at 7372? Why there? Why not lower? Why not here? Why not here? Right? To know that, we have to look at this. This is the delta profile, as you can see, right? And exactly at 10 a.m., look at the time. Okay, look at the time. 9:01 means 10. This is the central time. That's why, right? Exactly at 10 a.m., market retraces to where there was highest delta of buyers within the first 15 minutes. This is the first market open delta profile. So market retraces to the maximum point, which would be here, where there were maximum amount of buyers, right? Maximum, and that's the first trade that I kind of missed, the one that I saw on TradingView, right? That's where the market retraces to. And then if that's where the most buyers are, I would expect, buyers would show up again. So that's where the trade comes in, right? So actually, let me bring, let me get rid of that. Let me bring this, and it's easier for y'all to visualize what I'm trying to say, right? Come on. Right here, exactly at 10 a.m., right here, right? Exactly at 10 a.m., there is most amount of buyers at 7369, which would be this level, 7369. Market went up, retraces, right? Which would be this level, market went up, retraces, and in the same general area, I would expect buyers to come again. I saw delta flip from negative 88 to 67, price closed all the way up. I mean, that's enough confirmation, and I take it higher. Now, when I take this long, initially I told you my bias was short, but I still took longs. That would mean I gotta be really cautious of where I want to take my profit. Because if market is in a bearish sentiment, it doesn't take much for market to reverse and stop you out. So I took off here at this initial high, whatever, right? And then I waited, and market initially pushed all the way to previous day low volume node, which would be the low volume node of TPO2, as I said, right? And now let's look at the time. What is this time? 10:25. Let's go up to 10:25. 9:03, 10:25 is, where is 10:25? Right here, 10:25, right? Over here, 10:24, 25, right here. Now, see, the beauty of this thing is, this yellow box, what is this yellow box again? What did I tell you? That yellow box is the same area where initial buyers were trapped in the overnight session. So if sellers were aggressive from this point onward, isn't it fair for me to assume that sellers would be aggressive from that point onwards again? That's one confluence, right? That's what this yellow box is. Second confluence, if I come to TradingView, that's a previous day low volume node. And remember the TPO chart, that was a low volume node and TPO chart too. That is second confluence. This is also previous day value area high, if you can see here, 7401, right? So we are at the maximum edge of yesterday's fair value, right? That's third confluence. 7,400 is also a cycle level. Usually cycle level acts as a resistance or support, right? So that's four confluence. And when I come in here, and when market went all the way up to there at 1024, I want you all to pay attention to this shit. Okay, look at the delta here, 854. That zone we touched there. Again, 277 delta, more buyers. 148 delta, more buyers, and then negative 644 delta right here at 1024. 924 here, 1024 here. I have 4 or 5 confluences up here, and then I have buyers trapped. I have delta flip. I have previous day low volume node. I had previous day value area high. I have a psych level. What else do you want? Just I would put my house in this bitch. I'm sorry, bro. You know what I mean? This is like as A plus as it could get. It's no better than that. Okay, and we are in the same general area where buyers were initially trapped and sellers came in. That's like 5 or 6 confluence. I even forgot. So when I see that, I mean, you could just full put that shit, dog, and then look at the fucking market. I mean, we came a little bit, retraced a little bit. Again, went to the same general area. Look at the price, 7,400. Look at the price, 7,400. And then market gave you a second entry. And then look at this. God damn. See? So, and if I look at trading view, it just goes and goes and goes. But I told you my trade of it was down. I don't know if it was mine or everybody's trade of it was down, but I could not log into my thing. So my short entry was all the way down here at 7335, and I targeted this data low, this week low that came. I think it was CPI or some shit. I don't even know, but I targeted that after IVV low was broken. IVV low is 7335. Okay, so that's 930 lows basically, right? So let's go there. What time is it? 11:10. So I gotta be at 10:10 right here, right? So yeah, 10:10. Right here, right? Market has come all the way down here, right? IVV low has been broken, and I wanted to see how price would react after IVV low was broken, because there is a possibility we don't get to data low, right? Well, which would be this week low right here. So once price was coming down, as you can see, the delta was negative 157, 369, negative 520, negative 142, negative 498, and at 335, which would be all the way up here. See, price didn't do anything. I know we just keep on going and going and going. So that was the confirmation to me that, okay, maybe sellers are not done yet, right? They still want to target data low. And then we retrace a little bit. Now this is where I pay more attention to the market, because if I want to take short all the way down here after market has dumped all this much, it has to give me really, really good confidence that it still wants to go lower. Now, what does market do? When we retrace, we go to this 7340 where there were many buyers, and we reject it instantly. You see these buyers? You see these buyers, right? You see all these buyers, and there might be more buyers. Oh, maybe not. My bad. Well, there were more buyers here, but once we retrace back here, we reject it instantly, and look at the delta from 141 to negative 151. And that is also IVV low, and as you see, this 1113, this gotta be 1130, like 1013, right? So once I see this rejection at where previous buyers were at IVV low right here, delta flip, then I could once I see some sellers like this, I could take it lower up to where data low right here, 7318, and once 7318 was taken, which would be somewhere here, then market reversed. Right, market reverse, but then we are kind of chopping around now. So my entry comes all the way down here, but that's all right. This goes to show that market will give you an entry, right? As trade weight was down, I could not do anything. But I hope you guys learned something, that patience pays off, and don't just go into the market thinking you're gonna win over the market. Just wait. Market is gonna come to you. It does. That's the point of the market. If you wait for your setup, and if you wait for your A+ setup, market is always going to give you opportunities. That's one. Second, understand the context. Just because we are going higher does not mean we're bullish. Just because we are going lower does not mean we're bearish. Third, just because you have a bias does not mean you have to take the trade in the same direction. If you got an A+ setup in opposite direction, it's fine. That's how I lost yesterday. I was married to my bias. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something, and that's it for the trade of the day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Consider liking, subscribing, all of that good stuff. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much.